Hi, welcome all to day 5. We will start in another 5 minutes. Sure. So, as usual, mark your attendance. So, mark your attendance in this. I am sending in the LinkedIn post. Just say that you are attending. So, it will be great for me to track. And so, let's start now. Others can see the recording of this video. So, we will learn Flexbox today. So in the previous class, we have learned about the basic CSS. So nowadays, the basic CSS actually is a bit confusing because of that your position and all. Position is still used, but that float left and right, we don't use them that much nowadays, although you can find them in a older code and you can make a complete website with that, but it's very tough and very difficult also. So with the invention of Flexbox, actually it came 5 year back, and Flexbox along with grid, it's very easy to do CSS. Even you don't need some library like Bootstrap, which you should avoid unless it is used in the project. So Bootstrap I'm not going to teach because Bootstrap is very easy and it is not even CSS. You just have to remember the classes and it is done. So with Flexbox it is even easier than using the Bootstrap. So what I have done, I have I'm showing a code pen. Hope you're able to see the font size is okay. So I have opened the same code pen, one in the full view and the other I have just the HTML and CSS, nothing else. The HTML title is there and the container is there. This is very important. A container is there and then inside it 10 divs are there which say box 1 and all those two classes are there. One is a common class, one is the other class. And after that in the CSS what I have done, I had taken this generic thing, box sizing border sizing border box, which we generally take, and then each box is of different color. So and I have also taken this. See, one thing I want to show, if I remove this and let me save it and let me refresh it, see how it will come. So it will only take that much space what it is there, and div take the whole of the row by default. So it is taking the whole row, the div. Okay, and but I want it to have a bit of width, so I had given this a common thing. So the color is white, so the one it will be white. Font size is 100 px. It is actually giving the size 100 px. Text align is center, so it will move that text to the center, and padding is 10 px. Padding is around all around. So let me save it and let me refresh it, and we are having this back. Okay, so this is the natural flow because div is a block level element, so everything will come one after the another. So now see, Flexbox always happens on the parent. Parent is the container. It mainly happens on the parent. Most of the properties we will use will be on the parent. Some of them will be on a child, but not that much. So mostly on the parent we will see. So this container is there. It is a parent because it contains all these other things. So let me go dot container. No, not. I want to do dot container and just a display of flex I will give, and you'll see thing just with a display of flex, everything has moved in a column wise, in a row wise. Not by default it was column, now it is row. By default flex is row, so row means from left to right. So everything has moved like this just with this property, display flex. So see how powerful this is. Just to display flex, we see it like this. And for that, just let us just give a border 5 px solid golden rod. That's a color. So the border is been given. So border is going through the whole of the row. This whole row it is showing. So I wanted to see that. So after that, there is another property. This is flex, and we don't use that much, and that is known as inline flex. Why? Because closely see this border, and let me refresh it. So border has shrunk here, so the border will be only till the item, till the last item. It's inline flex. So let me make it back, and This time we will give the height as 100 vertical height. Let me save it. So 100 vertical height, this all will stretch. 100 vertical height means the full screen. So this will all stretch the full screen. It is 100 VH. VH means vertical height. So now, as I have told earlier, by default, there is another property which is known as flex direction. So let me give that flex direction. If even if you don't give it, it is by default it is row. So it will be row, flex direction row. So let me save it, and you'll see nothing will happen in this flex. So one more thing I want to say, in Flexbox there are axis. See, this is the main axis. This is known as a main axis. So main axis is left to right now, and the flex direction is also left to right, from here to here, left to right. Flex direction is row. So there is another thing, means the other thing is flex direction column. When we give this flex direction column, see, everything will move from top to down. It might be similar to what div you are seeing, but it is very useful. This flex direction column is very useful, and what it does, it make the main axis from top to bottom. Okay, so that's it. Then yeah, so we will look into another thing now. So for that, let me remove this flex direction, and so if I remove this flex direction, it will again become like earlier, but I want it to stretch completely. So what I am going to give, dot box width is 300 px, 300 pixels. So let me save it. So I saved it, and let me refresh it now. So see, everything is been stretched. So one thing is that this is not 300 pixel, actually this is lesser than that. If I do an inspect, see, you can see the size there. Size is actually around see 1400 pixel, and but it comes actually if you do in any Chrome based browser, just like I'm using the Brave browser, so it will give, but due to I'm streaming, it is not, it is a bit slow. So it shows the size, means it is not, if it to have been 300 pixel, then it should have been 3000 pixel, because 10 are there. It is very less than that. If we even inspect it, we can see even it is not. So yeah, 186 or some pixel it is. Okay, so we don't want this thing. We want, if it should be 300 pixel, or it should go to the next row. So there is a very good property known as flex wrap. By default it is no wrap, so nothing is wrapped, and it tries to adjust it in the same row. So the next is flex wrap is wrap. Let me save it. Let me refresh it and see. Now it is, each one is 300 pixel, and the fourth one, actually it was not able to adjust it here. So what it did, it took it to the next. So I will show another thing. See, Flex by default it is responsive. See, the moment it got that 300 pixel, I made the screen big, so and it had gone there. So by default it is responsive. So whether it will get the, yeah, 5 also it has been done, so it is responsive by default. Okay, so let me go back to the normal screen a bit more. Okay, this is okay. So the next thing, I want it to extend till the end. So there is a way, instead of width of 300 pixel, I could make it 33.3333%, because that is around 99.9999. So it means a way it is complete. So I want, so what this will do, this will place only 3 items, because yeah, 33 means it will be 3. And but what will happen if I give a, need a margin? So each box I need it to be separated from each other. So margin of 10 px. If I give, then what will happen? So see, it is appearing like this. Why it is appearing like this? The reason is that this margins are not a part of the box model. See, we are taking a border box also. After that, the margin is not a part of box model. So 33.33% plus 10 px it is adding. Plus 10 plus 10, because this is 10 and this is 10, so 20 px it is adding. So we can do a thing, there is known as a calc in css. We can use that calc, and then 33.33% minus 20 px. I'm doing saving, refreshing. Now it is perfect, because it deducted the 20 px from it and applied it perfectly. Now what we are going to see is a very important thing known as alignment and centering. For that, yeah, this is okay. Let me remove everything here, and let me remove this one also here, and I have only this much. Again, back to basics, 100 px solid and all. Save it. Let me close it, because it is the same, and it will again show like this. Okay, so there are 2-3 very important property in Flexbox. Those are used for alignment and centering. So the first property which we are going to see is known as justify content. Okay, so let me again add a border also, so that border 5px solid gold. Let me save it. refresh it. Yeah, and this border is been shown. Now we'll see the justify property, justify content property. It is known as justify content, and it has got the 4-5 values. So justify content is flex start. Let me save it. Let me refresh it. So nothing happens because by default it is flex start only. Okay. Now the next thing which I will do is flex end. There is something known as flex end. Let me save it. Let me refresh it, and it will go here. So everything, see this whole box. So whole box is the whole row. So flex end, it will move everything to the end. So these all properties are very important to make a website. So tomorrow we are going to make a website with Flexbox. So we will see many of this in action. Okay, so flex end is like this. Then justify content center. This is a very important property, center, to center everything in a website, which with the traditional CSS actually was very difficult. So center I will do, and let me refresh it and see everything and move to the center. So similar, there are some other good property, like one is a space between. Let me save it. Let me refresh it and see what is happening. One, two, there are space between each and one of them. So justify content is a very important property which we will use every time in when we are going to work with CSS. So there is a space between, and these properties are very useful to make a menu. So space between is there, then space around is there. Let me save it. Space around, and see, the difference is that it gave some space here, okay, that is space around. And there is another known as space evenly. Let me save it. See, the space is evenly. Even the first one in the previous one, it was not equal, but now the space is all equal. This space evenly. So now we will look into the flex direction property, which is very important. So for that, what I am going to do, I am going to decrease this to 30 px. It is okay. And flex display flex justify content, let me make it flex end, and border is there. Save it, refresh it, and this is how it is looking right now. And min height is 100 vertical height. Save it, refresh it, and it will be always stretched. But what we want to do is we are going to learn a property known as flex direction column. Okay, why it is end, let it be start. It doesn't matter. So by default flex direction is row, so everything is made in row. Flex direction will be column. So let me save it, let me refresh it, and see the direction is now column. So it is similar to what we were getting in when we were not having anything, but this is how it is. and this one is a bit small because we have given font size 30 px. It is not going throughout the whole thing. So this is column. So when we make the flex direction as column, the main axis also changes from top to down. Okay, so main axis changes from top to down. So what will happen now, justify content is there, it will also be like that only. See, this we have given flex direction start, so there was more space here but it had gone to start. Then we can give flex direction and let me save it and let me refresh it. It had gone to the end with that justify content only. And similar, all the other property they will also be like this, my like flex, and then let me put center, let me save it, let me refresh it. So it will, where it is, justify content. Okay, it is that 100 vs it is taking, so that's why it is not taking in this scenario, but it should justify content center. What happened? Yeah, maybe it is not taking the height. Let me see whether others are running, because justify content center also should place it to the center, because flex direction I have already made it column. Oh, C and TE I have not given it completely, so it is not taking. Center I have to give. Let me save it, and now let me refresh it. Yeah, now it is at the center. So my bad. So then another one is space between, and you have to spell it also right, because it is code and not VS Code. It will not tell me, and space between. So you got it, space between, space evenly, and the other one is they will do like that only. So there is another thing which is important after justify content, that is align item. So these two are the most important property of Flexbox. Actually, Flexbox is very small in comparison to Grid, which is more powerful and which was released I think 2-3 years back. So that is more powerful, but Flexbox is a bit old, and now in every modern browser you have support for Flexbox and Grid. Okay, so now we will look into align item. For align item, again we will make the font size to 100 px, container, display flex. We don't want justified content, so let me get rid of that. I don't want this also, only this much. Let me save it and let me refresh it. I will get back the thing which was earlier there. Okay, so now we'll see align item. So by default the flex direction is row. So align item, min height, okay, it is okay, min height. Okay. So align, it is items, because we are doing it everything on a parent. Flex item stretch, flex item is stretch, so nothing will happen because by default flex item is stretch only. So then align item flex start, see, stretch means everything was getting stretched. Okay, so, and this flex start means everything will move to the start in flex start. And flex end, everything will move to the end. So align items, we fix it around top to down axis, and this justify content, we fix it around left to right. So, and this is for flex direction row, which by default is the main thing. Means most of the time we will use flex direction row, but in my projects I use column also a lot of time, because we require a combination of both. So when we do the flex direction as column, these things also reverses, align item and justify content. So this is flex end, then align item center, we save it, and like this the properties are there. So another important property is a baseline property. It's a bit different. See, space around and all those things are there, but baseline property is there. Let me save it. So baseline is very useful because it aligns the base of all the items. So it will be really useful in a situation. I will show on this height. Let me make it, height. Let me make it min height. That is for responsive thing. Height is also okay. So what I am going to do, the boxes, let me have a boxes of different size. The font size is 30 pixels. See, by default everything is 100 pixels, but if we override it, box 1, then it will be overridden. So let me save it and see this cool effect we are getting for from the baseline. So everything, baseline means the whatever the item is, the 1 2 3, there is a imaginary line sort of from here. See, this is all the whatever the content will be there, it will be based like this. So this can be used to have this cool type of effect which I have just shown. So the next thing which we are going to see is so container box 1, yeah, it is okay. So for next I again have to change the CSS. HTML is okay, CSS I have to change a bit. Yeah, so box sizing and all are good. So okay, I missed one thing. I want that every time. So yeah, the color is white, and I'm giving a bit text shadow. This is the extra, and the background also is I'm taking a bit different. So let me save it and let me refresh it. So it will be shown like this. So now we will start. So in this part we are going to soon see first thing, the flex wrap we are going to see. So yeah, so we'll start our style from here. Container, display, flex, border, 10 px, solid, miss t rows, height is 100 vertical height. So if I save it and refresh it, display flex, and it will be all 100 like this. So, and then I want each box. So the common property of box, width of 33.333%. If I give, then what will happen? No, nothing will happen. It is not taking actually 33.33%. What it is doing, everything it is pushing in the same line with its own property. Means I want 33.33% only. So there is another property known as flex wrap, which is by default no wrap. So I'll give that. Okay, so now if I refresh, everything will be like this. Yeah, and do we have the border? Yeah, we have this border, this pinkish border we have. So now we will see another property known as align content. Aligned content. So earlier what we have seen, it was align item. Now what we are going to see, it is align content. So it is similar to justify content, but what we are going to see, it will be self-explanatory. It is not like align item. Align content is flex start. Let me save it. Let me refresh it. So everything have moved to the start. Align content, and align content flex, and so it will move to the end. So and center, move to the center like this. Space between is space between, and space around is similar what is happening, so you can get it. So one of your tasks for today is to know the main difference between align item and align content. Go through it again. It is a bit confusing, but if you go through it, it will be easy. So only this much is in Flexbox. Only now the what we are going to do, we're going to do the individual properties. There are individual properties also, as I have told that most of the properties will be used here in the container in the Flex. This is known as parent also, but we have some other properties which are used in the your individual items also. Individual items like box 1, box 2, and all those things it will be used. So mm, let me remove this flex wrap now. Align, let me do it. Items is flex start, and let me save it. See how different it is from your align content. This also you can see. So now what we are going to do, we are going to increase the size of increase the height of some of them. So we will individually target it. So box 2 padding bottom is 200 pixel. If I give the padding bottom of this padding box 2 to, so the padding bottom will be increased and this will be increased. So now let me copy it 2 more times, and I will give for the box 6 20 px and box 9 300 px. Let me save it, do it, and see this is a bit and this is a bit more 300 px. So now what we are going to do, we are going to look into another property, align self, and that only applies to the your item. So we are applying to the individual item and not the parent. So this is the individual item. So here align self is flex, and if I save it and if I refresh it, it will go to the end. So this is also very useful property if you want to change the alignment of only one of the thing. So we can do it by like this, align self is flex start, save it, refresh it. So it is by default flex start only, so nothing else will happen. So again align self is enter. Let me save it, refresh it, and it will come to the center. So it is quite big, so center equal space there. So this is align self. So now we will see a very important property known as flex, only flex, and it is also for the item. So we'll use a different code pen sort of that for it. In the container I am using some emojis also, and here container have nothing special, just 1 2 3 4 the and number and the emojis are there, and the box white font is a bit on the 50 px, text run center shadow is there, color is there, and by default container is display flex, so everything will come like this only, one after the other. Let me refresh it, and it will come like this, 1 2 3 4 5, like this it will come. So what we're seeing here, there by default there is some space in this line, space is remaining here. So what we can do, the box property, the box is for individual. So if I come here and give dot box flex 1, there's a flex 1, if I give, and if I save it, and if I refresh it, so everything will stretch to the end. So means everything will stretch, because it takes the whole, means it whatever the free space is there, it utilizes it, the free space, and distribute among whatever needs, whatever time. So it will distribute by default, it is all equal, means if we distribute it, so it is distributing it like this. So now what we are going to do, all the boxes are flex 1. So what if I do for box 2 as flex 2, and let me save it, let me refresh it, box 2, and see what happened. Suddenly this second box is taking twice the space as all other box, and because of this even the third one has come down, because it is taking twice the space. Okay, let me do a bit, yeah, it is much better. Okay, so even that this one is taking twice the space, so flex 2 means that, so that it have to take twice the space of whatever this one is taking, means 3 and 4 is there, so it will be equal to that all the other, so it means twice the space. Can you show where is the class box? Here is the class. Class is the main parent, and inside it everything else is there. So every time it is like this only. This is very important. Oh, it is making it small. So let it be like that only. So the thing is that now we are going to learn more about this flex property. The flex is actually, it contains 3 things. The flex is a short form of 3 things, and flex grow, flex shrink, and flex basic. So it contains these 3 things, flex. So this we can use on a different basis also. So for bases, we don't to check all these 3 property, we don't need this many things. So what I am going to do, I'm going to delete these things and delete this also. Display flex. Let me have box 1 like this, and box 2 I will give 1 1 0. Okay, let me save it. So we just have only 2 boxes right now. Let me again close it and let me refresh it. So only 2 of them are there, and see they're equally distributed. Why? Because actually these two are same, flex 1 and flex 110, because 1 means flex grow, it means uh, flex shrink, and this means flex basic. So this is a long form, this is a short form, 110. So by default this, if we give 1 it means this, but we can give them individually also, and we will see how we can give them individually. So first thing we will give is flex basis is 400 pixel, and flex basic is 300 pixel. So flex basic means the default size of the element before remaining space is distributed. So when we give 1 it is 0 for that reason only. So it is a default size, so we can, if you want it, we can give it individually. So let me save it and let me refresh it. So see, now this is taking 400 pixel and this is taking 300 pixel. No space is distributed because we didn't did anything. So this is like this. Now let me do one thing, let me make both of them equal. So let me save it, and now it is like both of them are equal, 300 pixel and 300 pixel. So flex grow, now we will see flex grow, and flex grow means how we distribute the space between the item. So this much is the free space remaining right now from here to here. So how to distribute this free space? So flex grow, I want to give 2 times the space. So this free space, first they will be 300 pixel and 300 pixel, and then after this space is remaining it will distribute in this way. So I can give flex grow of 2 here and flex grow of 1 here. Let me save it and let me refresh it. See, it became like this. So this 1 is a bit bigger than this 2 because it took twice the time, not twice the time, twice the size of this, but twice the free space which is remaining when once we didn't have. So it is not exactly now 300 pixels, it is exactly means this, where we can see here it is someone, yeah, it is some 569 plus 20 means around 589 or 590 pixel, and this one it is 444 pixel. So this is quite, so this is the difference. So this is what happens when we give flex grow. Okay, now flex shrink, there is another thing known as flex shrink, the other thing. So what is flex shrink? So flex shrink means the ability of the item to shrink in the proportion when the less space is there. So this comes into play into mobile layout, this flex shrink. So it is 2, okay, but flex shrink, I will make it 5 and copy it. Flex shrink, I will make it 1. Let me save it. Let me refresh it and nothing will happen. So as I told that it is only shrink in the proportion when the space is less. So this will shrink 5 times more and this will shrink only 1 time. So see it closely. It shrank 5 times more and it shrank only 1 time. So it shrank 5 times more, it shrank only 1 time. So it become bigger in the mobile layout, and but in the normal layout, see what happened, it becomes bigger. So because we have taken it opposite, so generally we don't do it like this, but to show all of you I did it like this. So this is what it is. But this flex property is also very important, but mostly in most production projects we only use the flex one only. That is the way to distribute between the thing. So flex one is a very good property, means by default it makes your first two bases, generally it is not that much important. So flex grow and shrink, it makes it equal 1 1. Like if you give 1, it will make 1 1 0. And so it is very useful in projects, means one thing I want is big, one thing I want is small, so we can do it like this. So this is what it is. So actually Flexbox is this much only. The Flexbox is very small, but it is very powerful, as you have seen. So so as I told, the assignment, because tomorrow we are going to do a project, and after that I will give you the assignment for the week. But today's assignment is that first I will not give the code for today. I can give it tomorrow. So you have to go through the what this uh, recording. I will post it tomorrow because YouTube gives me the recording tomorrow only. So I will post this tomorrow in my LinkedIn channel, so please follow me, and maybe in our Discord also. So I will give it there, and you can take it from there, the uh, YouTube video. And after that, the other thing is that what I want you to do as an assignment, try to find the difference between align items and align content. So so this is the one task, difference between align items and align content. So this you need to do, and I will post the video on my YouTube channel also. So if you didn't subscribe, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And we are done for the day, and tomorrow we are going to use this Flexbox to create a project, and this that way you will learn much better. So in the meanwhile you can go through more at Flexbox, but as I told earlier, the main thing is justify content and align items only, and the flex direction and all those things. So flex direction and flex wrap, so go through it, it's very popular. I will see you soon, see you tomorrow in fact, and I will send the link on both my channel for tomorrow's and on my LinkedIn. So please subscribe it there. So thank you all.